When you display the empty table template and press the Update button repeatedly, it shows that we can add both images and new user widgets to individual cells. This is a checkbox, and we can retrieve its updated state in a status message, including which cell it is attached to.
Similarly, we can detect when any image button is pressed. How does this work?
Table button update calls the event add widget to random cell.
That event picks a random cell within some range. We retrieve a reference to that cell with function getCell, and then we use a flip-flop node to decide whether to add a smiley image to that cell, or add a user widget, in this case a checkbox widget that we create on the spot.
In the Add New Image to Cell event, we can see the different types of items we can add to the cell, at most one of each type. The cell content item is always present. It can be empty, but it is basically a text button that is always provided.
Then there's the cell image, and the cell image button options. These are actually the same thing, only that in the former case, the image button is not hooked up to a delegate.
The tree view items are reserved, you cannot create them yourself.
Lastly, there's the user widgets, which are added to a cell by calling event add new widget to cell.
Clicking an added image is captured by event CellImageClicked.
What happens in your user widget is dependent on how you set it up.
Note that all user widgets that you wish to add to table cells have to have parent class, TableUserWidget.
Our example checkbox also has some variables defined here, because we want this user widget to communicate directly with the table, through status messages. We also need to know the cell address, the row and column index of the cell that we are attaching the widget to.
So each of these variables is going to be exposed on spawn, so that when the checkbox state changes later, the new state can be passed through a direct reference to our table, and at the same time we can report which associated cell was responsible.
That is what we do here. When we create the checkbox, we pass our table reference and the coordinates of the targeted cell.
Note that the display size of these features, for both images and user widgets, is set through the widget transform scale. There is some internal scaling going on, to prevent any added item from messing up the table layout by extending beyond the cell height.
You can see in the table cells widget tree, that an overlay is present, and that's where each of these new cell items is added, living next to the text button that contains the cell content. The blue comment box contains several table events involving added cell items, for you to study.